To inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
Kamala, you're fired!
I say, bring it on.
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill. We know the issues, but above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that we're covering. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on Firstpost America. Hello and welcome to Firstpost America. I'm Eric Ham, coming to you live from the nation's capital in Washington, D.C. And over the next few minutes, we'll take you from the United States and around the world, covering all the top stories of the day. But before that, let's take a look at the latest headlines. Bangladesh's Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina resigns and flees the country after weeks of deadly protest. The Bangladeshi army says it will form an interim government. North Korea deploys 250 missile launchers near the border with South Korea, which are capable of launching tactical ballistic missiles at a range of 120 miles. Global markets crash, with Japan seeing its biggest single-day fall in 4 decades. This as prominent investment banks report that the United States is on the brink of a recession. Australian intelligence says there's a 50% likelihood of a terror attack in the country within a year. Prime Minister Antony Albanese says Australia is witnessing a rise in religious extremism due to the war in Gaza. And Belgium, Norway, and Switzerland withdraw from the triathlon event at the Paris Olympics. This after their triathletes test positive for E. coli after swimming in the polluted Seine River on Sunday. We begin in the United Kingdom, which is witnessing its worst riots in 13 years. Over the weekend, far-right demonstrators vandalized at least 2 hotels believed to be housing asylum seekers near the towns of Rotherham and Birmingham. A total of 10 mosques have also been targeted in Southport, Liverpool, and Hartlepool. The violence was triggered by the stabbing of 3 young girls in Southport, England last week. According to the police, disinformation spread online that the 17-year-old suspect in the knife attack was a Muslim immigrant. However, he was later named in court as Axel Rudabakana, born in Cardiff, Wales. And media reports say his faith is Christianity. But even revealing the attacker's identity did not stop anti-immigration demonstrators from carrying out racially motivated riots. They pelted chairs, bricks, and flares at police officers, looted shops, and torched several community facilities, including a library and Citizens Advice Bureau building. The rioters also shouted anti-Islamic slurs as they clashed with counter-protesters.
It's just an excuse to show the knuckle-dragging racism of them, and I'm here to say we don't all feel the same way.
Embarrassed before this morning, disgusted, and wanted to take some action, really, I suppose. Yeah, that's just it. Wanted to do something. As you can see, I've got a little boy. It's the world I want him to grow up in. So yeah, just come out, make a positive change, show people that this is Hull, not the crap you saw last night.
I think it was really important to show the people of Springbank, our black and Asian community, that, you know, if people are going to bring 200 people out to incite hate, we're going to bring 20,000 out to incite good.
Now, media reports are saying horrific racist incidents have also occurred all across England just last week. That includes a mob beating up a black man and an Asian man being stabbed at a train station. According to police, at least 300 people across the UK have been arrested in connection with the riots, with at least 100 detained in London alone. Moreover, at least 50 police officers have been injured so far. Liverpool City Mayor says the violent disorder is less about the murders in Southport and more about local youths stirred up by social media.
I'd say there's a differential between what happened on Tuesday in Southport and what happened here. Definitely on Tuesday there were people bussed in from all over the country because we know that, because we see the travel patterns. This was more about local youths being stirred up by social media, by that communication of everybody, let's get together and all that, thinking it was a bit of fun and purposely trying to stir up some sort of criminality in this area. And you know, I've been the MP for this area and I'm very, very supportive of the people and the communities, but this was the community inflicting misery on the community.
Meanwhile, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has described the attack on hotels as far-right thuggery. Addressing the nation, the Prime Minister vowed to end the mayhem and take action against people inciting the riots online and offline.
Utterly condemn the far-right thuggery we've seen this weekend. Be in no doubt, those that have participated in this violence will face the full force of the law. The police will be making arrests, individuals will be held on remand, charges will follow, and convictions will follow. I guarantee you will regret taking part in this disorder, whether directly or those whipping up this action online and then running away themselves. This is not protest. It is organised, violent thuggery, and it has no place on our streets or online. If you target people because of the colour of their skin or their faith, then that is far right, and I'm prepared to say so. But it doesn't matter what apparent motivation there is. This is violence, it is not protest. It doesn't matter what the motivation is. The motivation for the vast majority of people in this country is to see their streets safe. And that's what I'm determined that we will deliver. Thank you.
Now the Labour government will hold an emergency meeting on Monday over the violent riots as the rioters appear to be undeterred as they announce more protests. Shifting focus to the Middle East, Secretary of State Antony Blinken has reportedly told his counterparts from the G7 nations that Iran could attack Israel any time now. Secretary Blinken further said that both Tehran and its Lebanon-based proxy Hezbollah will retaliate together. The attack will be in response to the killing of Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh in Iran and Hezbollah commander Fouad Shukr in Lebanon last week. Israel has only claimed responsibility for the strike in Lebanon and has refused to comment on Haniyeh's killing. Now the foreign ministers of the G7 countries have tried to apply diplomatic pressure on Iran, Hezbollah, and Israel by urging them to lower tensions and engage constructively towards de-escalation. Meanwhile, another media report says Israel may consider launching a preemptive strike to deter Iran and prevent an attack on Israeli soil. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is uncertain what to expect from Iran and its proxies. He's asked Israel's top intelligence agencies to work with U.S. intelligence to confirm if Tehran will in fact launch an attack on its own.
Iran and its proxies seek to surround us with a stranglehold of terror on 7 fronts. Their visible aggression is insatiable, but Israel is not helpless. We are determined to stand against them on every front, in every arena, far and near. Anyone who murders our citizens, anyone who harms our country will be held accountable. He will pay a very heavy price.
U.S. National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby said the Iranian threat is serious and Washington will stand up to defend Israel.
When the Supreme Leader says he's going to avenge, we have to take that seriously. Now, I don't know what they're going to do or when they're going to do it, but we got to make darn sure that we're ready and that we have the capabilities in the region to be able to help Israel defend itself and, quite frankly, defend our own people, our own facilities, our own national security interests. We've been very, very consistent about not wanting to see this war escalate and get broader. We've also been very, very consistent about proving, not just with words, but with action, that we're going to stand up and defend Israel.
Now, President Joe Biden is convening his national security team in the Situation Room of the White House today to discuss the developments in the Middle East. The White House says the president will also speak with Jordan's King Abdullah. This comes a day after Jordan's foreign minister made a rare visit to Tehran to find a diplomatic solution amid tensions growing in the region. Now, with the Pentagon deploying additional fighter jets and warships in the Middle East and Israel preparing for every possibility, the world is bracing as Iran and Hezbollah prepare to retaliate against Israel. And from the war in the Middle East to the war in Europe, in a major blow to Vladimir Putin, Ukraine claims to have sunk a Russian submarine in the Black Sea over the weekend. The diesel-electric attack submarine was sunk while it was docked at the Sevastopol Black Sea port in the Crimean Peninsula. Kyiv says that the long-range precision missiles were used to hit the warship while it was anchored. The submarine, named the Rostov-On-Don, was inducted into Russia's Black Sea Fleet back in 2014. It was reportedly one of the 4 submarines operated by the Russian Navy in the Crimean Peninsula that would launch cruise missiles at Ukrainian cities. Moscow is yet to comment on the Ukrainian attack. However, if true, this would be the biggest loss for the Russian Navy since Putin's forces invaded Ukraine back in 2022. Additionally, Ukrainian generals say that a Russian airbase was also damaged in the strike, including a fortified complex that houses Russia's most advanced S-400 attack aircraft missile system. Now, Kyiv says the air defense systems were tasked with protecting the Kerch Strait Bridge, which is an important logistics and transport hub for the Russian forces in occupied Crimea. Meanwhile, Ukraine also struck a major oil refinery in southern Russia using long-range precision drones. The uptick in attacks against Russia comes after allies gave Ukraine the green light to use Western-made weapons for strikes inside Russia. And now, in a span of less than a month, Ukraine has launched a barrage of long-range attacks using drones, cruise missiles, and heavy artillery as it targets Russia's military infrastructure and oil depots. However, Moscow accuses Kyiv of targeting civilians by deliberately shelling residential areas. Now, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has promised allies that his troops would turn the tide of the war before the winter sets in. And the latest successes by the Ukrainian armed forces show that President Zelensky and his troops are looking to build on this momentum against the Russian forces. And moving away from war, in the Canadian city of Montreal, it is now on the cusp of a nightlife revolution that will transform the city into a 24-hour metropolis with plans for all-night drinking district, as well as the city aiming to redefine what it means to stay up late. From economic boost to cultural growth, Montreal's nocturnal transformation looks to be captivating as well as controversial. Here's our report with details.
In the quiet hours when most cities wind down, a new rhythm is emerging, reshaping urban landscapes around the globe. And it isn't just about nightlife, it's about creating a vibrant 24-hour economy that boosts local culture, safety and economic growth. And at the forefront of this movement is Canada's second-largest city, Montreal. Poised to join the ranks of cities like Germany's capital Berlin and Japan's capital Tokyo by implementing an all-night district in its city. As the city's skyline grows against the night sky, Montreal's downtown is already a hub of activity. Bars and restaurants hum with energy, and wide pedestrian streets are filled with people enjoying the warm evening. But City Councillor Erica Alneos sees even greater potential. We are trying to be trailblazers, she says, passionate about her vision for a Montreal that thrives around the clock. Currently, Montreal's nightlife contributes an impressive $1.6 billion annually, with over $87 million flowing into government coffers through taxes. The city councillor is convinced these figures will soar once the city allows bars and clubs to remain open past the current 3 a.m. closing time. Her vision for Montreal is twofold: economic growth and cultural enrichment. This is an opportunity for economic growth, she emphasizes, but it's also to present and reinforce the cultural scene. Yet not everyone shares her enthusiasm. Concerns about security and infrastructure are top of mind for many. Owners of local clubs voiced their concerns, pointing out to the lack of 24-hour public transport services and additional security measures. Without these, they believe the plan could backfire. However, few other bar and restaurant owners believe that extending operating hours could reduce problems, and their idea isn't without precedent. The Dutch city of Amsterdam became the first to appoint a night mayor back in 2012. It has seen positive results from spreading out closing times. Mirik Milan, who served as Amsterdam's night mayor for 6 years, oversaw a 20% drop in alcohol-related violence and a 30% reduction in nuisance reports. These improvements helped gain political and public support for nighttime policies. Berlin offers another model of successful nighttime management. With no restrictions on when alcohol can be sold and 24-hour public transportation on weekends, the city has embraced a round-the-clock lifestyle. So, while Montreal's initiative is not solely about nightlife, an advocacy group highlights the broader benefits, such as providing essential services for night shift workers and creating a more inclusive city. Part of the plan also includes grants for soundproofing smaller performance venues, balancing the needs of residents and businesses. Despite these challenges, the economic and cultural potential of a robust nighttime economy is undeniable. In New York, nightlife generates $35.1 billion annually, supporting nearly 300,000 jobs. Berlin's techno-tourism attracts millions, driving substantial economic activity. These successes illustrate the possibilities for cities like Montreal. So, as winter approaches, the city is poised for a transformative leap. While the city's nights may become longer, they also promise to be filled with greater cultural vibrancy and economic opportunity. Whether Montreal can truly become the next city that never sleeps remains to be seen. But its nights are undoubtedly about to get much more interesting.
We've often heard people say that a 24-hour day is not enough time. Well, how about 25 hours? Well, it could be a possibility thanks to the moon gradually drifting away from the Earth. This surprising finding was uncovered during a study of ancient rocks. But will the 25-hour day happen in our lifetime? And how will this celestial drift reshape our planet's future? Our final report has all the answers.
In a time long before human footprints marked the lunar surface, the moon hung high in the sky, casting its silver light on the world below. It was more than just a satellite. It was a muse for artists, poets, and dreamers, a constant presence that inspired awe and wonders across generations. Yet, within this beacon of the night lay a secret known only to the most meticulous scientists. The moon was slowly drifting away from the Earth. This astonishing discovery, which sounds like something from a science fiction tale, emerged from the dedicated work of a team at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Led by Professor Stephen Mayers, these researchers embarked on a journey through time, examining ancient rocks formed 90 million years ago to uncover the moon's gradual separation from Earth and its profound implications. Their findings were nothing short of remarkable. Through careful analysis, the team determined that the moon is receding from Earth at a rate of approximately 3.8 centimeters per year. Though this distance may seem minuscule, its impact is far from insignificant. As the moon moves farther away, Earth's rotation also slows. The consequences of this cosmic dance are staggering. As the moon continues its slow retreat, the length of days on Earth will grow longer. In about 200 million years, a single day on our planet will last a full 25 hours. This gradual shift, though imperceptible in our daily lives, marks a significant transformation over geological timescales. The study also revealed that 1.4 billion years ago, a day on Earth was just over 18 hours long. Professor Mayers and his team used a technique called astrochronology to peer back into this distant past. Their goal was ambitious: to create a geological timescale that could accurately tell the story of Earth's ancient history. The research not only sheds light on the moon's drift, but also opens a window into the dynamic history of our planet. It tells a tale of change and adaptation, of a world that has continually evolved in response to the cosmic forces around it. As we gaze up at the moon, it's humbling to realize that our celestial companion is on a slow but inevitable journey away from us. So the next time you look up at the night sky and see the moon shining brightly, remember the relevance it holds. As the moon drifts apart, days will grow longer, and eventually there will be 25 hours in a single day here on Earth.
That's our show for today. We certainly thank you so much for tuning in. We hope to see you right back here again tomorrow. Thanks again for watching. From impeachments to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
Kamala, you're fired!
I say, bring it on.
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill. We know the issues, but above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that we're covering. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on Firstpost America.
Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual. My name is Utsav Parekh and here are the top stories of the day. We begin with the biggest headline from South Asia. Chaos in Bangladesh has reached a new peak. The latest reports coming in say that Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina may have stepped down amid the ongoing protests in the country. Sheikh Hasina has reportedly also fled Bangladesh and is possibly en route to Helsinki in Finland. Bangladesh has been facing violent protests for weeks now.